Okay, good morning, friends. You know, I thought we'll switch over to YouTube so that would be easier for you to see the text other than this monotonous WhatsApp thing. So today we'll talk about dramatic monologue, you know, and yeah, this is an important area of your study. You have to study this one. This is an important topic for you in your syllabus. So what is dramatic monologue, and we will examine one example and how this, what are the features and conditions of a dramatic monologue, and we look at some examples also. Okay, yes, so let's start. So what's dramatic monologue? The word dramatic monologue is a kind of poem. It's a short kind of lyrical poem. It has some features. The word combines two words, drama and monologue. Dramatic monologue. The adjective of drama, that is dramatic, and monologue. Drama means a play or any theatrical practice that right, any enactment. You are faking any action, or or you are representing something in your action. That is what is drama. It's play, action, and the parts of drama or the elements of drama that you have already studied. Okay, so here simply a theatrical practice, some kind of an acting. Then monologue means, this is, I have taken from one book that I think that Britannic Encyclopedia. Okay, no, it is from Oxford Dictionary's meaning. What is a monologue? A long speech by one person during a conversation that stops other people from speaking or expressing an opinion. Monologue means it's a continuous or a long speech by one person is giving a speech, just like the usual typical classroom where one guy is a teacher, he's giving you a harangue, a kind of a lengthy speech, and all other people are not supposed to speak. The speech of this person is stopping them. So that is what is a monologue. Mono means one, monologue means the speech of one person that stop other people from speaking or expressing an opinion. A situation where only one guy is speaking and others are listening, but their presence is there. But even though there is this drama and monologue, this is not a category of drama, a subcategory of drama. This is a category of poem. So it's a kind of a lyrical poem. Okay, not a lyrical speech, but a lyrical poem. So there would be some dramatic situation, and poem is set in that kind of a dramatic situation. So the best classical example for this category of poetry is My Last Duchess by Robert Browning. Okay. So before going into the definition, anyway, we will read the definition and then think about, we will look, what is an overall idea of that poem so that we can understand the features. Dramatic monologue means a self-conversation or a speech or a talk which include a interlocutor or presented dramatically. It's a person, it's a speech by one person, but at the same time a presence of an interlocutor, or interlocutor means somebody who converse. Okay, so some listener or something the interlocutor asked, and the speaker is responding. Okay, so there is interlocutor's presence is there, but that presence is revealed only from the speech of the speaker or the character. A person who is speaking to himself or someone else speaks to reveal a specific intention of his action. Yeah, means he is discussing in some detail what is his intention of his action, is a psychological feeling, what is happening inside him. However, in literature, it's a poetic form or a poem that presents a speech or of a person in a dramatic manner. First we will try to read in 5 to 10 minutes. We'll try to read this poem, My Last Ditches, so that you can clearly understand what constituted dramatic monologue. This is a best example for dramatic monologue. Okay, so let's go back to the poem. Okay, so I'll just read. I won't go word by word. I'll just read and try to paraphrase, not strictly. I'll elaborate in my own way. That's my last ditches painted on the wall, looking as if she were alive. I call that piece a wonder. Now Fra Pandolf painted. Now Fra Pandolf, his hands worked busily a day, and there she stands. Will it please you sit and look at her? I said. Fra Pandolf, by design, for never read strangers like you that pictured countenance, the depth and passion of its earnest glance. So this is actually a psychological poem which reveals the psychological thought that's happening in the mind of the speaker. So there is a duke, okay, the Duke of Ferrara. Means this poem is set in Italy, in Ferrara, maybe in the 16th century at that point of time. So one duke, that duke, right, duke means a ruler in traditional English society, okay, means, and also in Italian, duke, and its feminine thing is duchess. So a duke is speaking to someone who is present there, but that is not, their name is not revealed. He came to inquire about, king's second marriage, means the duke's second marriage. So he actually came with a marriage proposal. So he's pointing out that my last ditches painted on the wall, showing a portrait on the wall. He says that is my ditches, a painting. It's a piece of wonder, means it's an artistic piece. Okay, Fra Pandolf's hands worked busily. Fra Pandolf is a painter who who painted her, his last wife. Okay. And for never read strangers like you, the pictured countenance, no one can read the strange silence and passion that is there on the face of that, duchess. Okay, means a duke is talking to one of the interlocutor or one guy who came with a marriage proposal to duke. He is talking about his first wife, whose portrait is there on the wall, and we don't know what happened to her. Or was it an accident, she died, or we don't know anything. He simply says, the portrait. Okay, because when you have a portrait, yeah. Okay, but to myself they turned, since none puts by. But myself they turn, since none puts by the curtain I have drawn for you, but and seemed as they would ask me if they durst how such a glance came there. So not the first her husband's presence only called the spot of joy into the duchess' cheek. Perhaps the Fra Pandolf's chance to say her mantle laps over my lady's wrist too much, or paint must never hope to reproduce the faint half flesh that dies along her throat. Such stuff. Okay, we will continue. So here, the duke is asserting his authoritarian nature. His authoritarian means, no one is ready to draw a curtain. Obviously, this portrait might have covered in a curtain or something. So no one dare to come up there and draw the curtain and show the painting to anybody else. So he has a kind of authoritarian nature. He has a kind of very a very dangerously possessive feeling as well. Yeah, if you ask, pointing to the portrait, he says, if you ask how such a beautiful smile or beautiful glance came over there on the face of my beautiful lady in the portrait, the lady is not living there, the only portrait is there. Her husband's presence only called that, so not the first, her husband's presence only called that spot of joy. Means now he's talking about what kind of a character is this Duchess. She becomes happy for everything. Even not only, the Duke's mentality is that a Duchess has to be happy or Duchess has to smile only to her husband, Duke. But here Duke says she is a different type. She become happy for a trivial thing. Just like sometimes that happy is there. Sometimes the Fra Pandolf, the painter, and this the painter of this portrait might have said, okay, her mantle dress overlaps her lady's wrist, or a kind of a trivial thing he might have said, and that made a kind of beautiful look in her. Okay. Was courtesy, she thought, and cause enough for calling up that spot of joy. Okay. She thought that it's courtesy always, to show joy to people. She had a heart, how shall I say, too soon made glad, too easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on, and her looks went everywhere. Sir, it was all one, my favor at the breast, the dropping of the daylight in the west, the bough of cherries, some officious fool broke in the orchard for her, the white mule. Okay, means he's characterizing this lady, what kind of a lady she is. She is a kind of lady who becomes happy for everything. Okay, she can be easily impressed. Here we are getting two character or the psychology of two people. One is the speaker, the Duke, and the other one is the Duchess, the portrait, the Duchess in the portrait. She easily impressed. She liked whatever she looked on. Her looks went everywhere. Even my name or my heritage that I have created, that has been maintained, is just like an orchard bough for her. It's for her, everything is equal. Even when sunlight drops, when sun rises, that also makes her happy. Means every trivial thing in the nature makes her happy. She's that kind of a person. That Duchess is that kind of a person. And if some officious fool, and some officious fool means somebody who is in the office, who is in the palace, if they are giving an orchard, giving a bough for a flower of a tree, for also she would become happy. Even the mule, the white mule she rode, okay, the white mule that she's riding, that makes her happy. Okay, means for her everything is same, no difference. For everything she will give a kind of equal approval. She thanked him and good, but thanked somehow. I know not how, as if she ranked my gift a 900 years old name with anybody's gift. And she thanked, and even she considered the 900 years of my tradition just like that of any kind of officious fool is breaking some cherry orchard branches of some cherry orchard. Okay. Yeah. Who would stop to blame this sort of trifling? Means who will stand up and talk about these kind of trivial things? Actually, Duke doesn't like it, and Duke doesn't want to talk about it. So there she stands as if alive, as if alive. So she's not alive. She has been assassinated or killed or passed away or committed suicide. We don't know what happened. In the portrait, she's just like she's alive. Will it please you, sir? Will it please you, sir? He's directly asking a question. Somebody who sits in front of him, maybe the interlocutor, maybe the some guy or some office people who came with a marriage proposal. Yeah, we'll meet the company below. Then I repeat, the count your master's non-munificence is ample warrant that not just pretense of mine for dowry will be disallowed, though his fair daughter's self, as I vote, is strange, is my object. Nay, we will go together down, sir. Not is Neptune, though timing the seahorse. Yeah, timing the seahorse is a Neptune timing the seahorse. Timing seahorse, that also a symbol represents how women should be for men, and how they have to be domesticated and all. Okay. So that's my last Duchess. I'm just before going into the feature, I'm just summarizing it. Here what we have is a duke is talking to his emissary, somebody who brings with a marriage proposal about his wife, and the wife whom he had already killed. Why? What was the offense? What was the crime committed by his Duchess, by his first wife? Because she considers she becomes happy for everything. She considered the gift given by the Duke just like a gift given by an officious fool, and some guy who give him an orchard tree or the white mule, or just like sunrise. Whatever she sees, she approves it. She becomes happy about it. So that makes Duke very angry, and finally he gave order and killed this Duchess. So now he has a portrait hanging on the wall, and he's the only person to uncover it, because there it shows his authoritarian mentality as well. So he shows this portrait and talk about it. And while this talking, this piece of talk, this long narrative means in the kind of a long narrative, it is revealed his psychology. What kind of a person is very possessive, authoritarian, and cruel. Okay, you can add on, and what kind of a person is that Duchess becomes happy for everything. Very she considered the gift given by her husband, the Duke, and the smallest gift in the nature as same. She becomes happy. She thinks that's courtesy. Okay, that kind of a simple innocent Duchess, and this kind of their psychology is revealed. Okay. And also the presence of an interlocutor. Sir, will you take a look at it? It looks as if alive. He says these kind of sentences, right? Directly addressing to the person who came with a marriage proposal. Yeah. Now we will read. Okay. So we have already, examined the definition. The dramatic monologue means a self-conversation, speech or talk which include interlocutor presented dramatically. It means a person who is speaking to himself or someone else speaks to reveal specific intention of his actions. Okay. Yeah. Now features of dramatic monologue. Actually, this has been taken from glossary of literary terms by M.H. Abrahams. So here he talked about 3 of these features. One is, for a dramatic monologue to become a dramatic monologue, there has to be, there should be 3 features. One is a single person who is patently not the poet. Yeah, in the poem we have discussed, My Last Duchess by Robert Browning, the speaker is not the poet. It's not Robert Browning, but it is actually a duke, a 16th century Italian duke is speaking here. Yeah, single person who is patently, and there is no speech of other people there. Okay, he is only describing other people, no other people speak there. Okay, in the poem. Another speech that makes up the whole poem in a specific situation. That poem is set in a specific situation. Here, that the inquiry about the second wife, a second marriage proposal, bringing a second marriage proposal for the duke. That's a critical moment in this negotiation between this duke and the emissary, somebody who comes with a marriage proposal. And the second condition is, this person addresses and interacted with one or more other people. Here, this guy, or somebody who sits in front of him, bringing the marriage proposal, he talks to them directly. Sometimes he asks them, will you take a look at it, the painting, it's look as if alive. Okay, so directly address, there is a speech. Okay, there is an interlocutor's presence is there. And the third one is, the main principle controlling the poet's choice and formulation of what a lyric speaker says is or reveal to the reader in a way that enhance its interest, speaker's temperament and character. From this poem or from the speech given by Duke here, it is revealed what kind of a person is this Duke. His authoritarian mentality and his possessiveness and his cruelty. He is not ready to listen to other people. He simply gives order to kill people. Okay, that kind of a person he is. That revealed from the poem. Now, if any of these condition, especially if the second condition is not there, that is dramatic lyric. Okay, for example, canonization, the flea, and then okay. So now from M.H. Abraham says in his glossary, Wordsworth's Tintern is spoken by one person, silent auditor in a specific situation. The significant So in that actually Tintern, it's poet himself is the speaker. So if poet himself is the speaker, then that wouldn't be considered as a dramatic monologue. Okay. So this is it, and if you have any doubt or any other queries, you could ask in the group. Okay.